The fierce battle between the sperm whale and the giant squid in Earth's darkest abyss. Picture this: a serene, sun-drenched beach on the coast of New Zealand. The waves lap gently against the shore, painting a picture of absolute tranquility. But today, the tide has dragged something colossal from the depths. It is the carcass of a bull sperm whale, a leviathan of the deep, heavier than a fully loaded 18-wheeler. To the untrained eye, it is simply a tragedy of nature. But a closer inspection reveals a story written in extreme violence across its thick, rubbery skin. Etched into the flesh are hundreds of perfect, circular scars, some as large as dinner plates. These are not the random scrapes of jagged coral or the bites of rival males. They are the unmistakable signatures of a nightmare. For centuries, these bizarre markings fueled human myths of krakens dragging wooden galleons to their watery graves. Today, science has replaced myth, but the reality is no less terrifying. These scars are the brutal aftermath of a daily, invisible war raging deep beneath the waves. They beg a chilling question. What kind of monster lurks in the absolute, freezing dark, powerful enough to challenge the largest toothed predator on Earth? The answer lies far below the reach of the sun. But to find it, we must first abandon the light and plunge down into an alien world where the sheer weight of the ocean wants to crush you alive. Leaving the sunlit world behind, we plunge into the bathypelagic layer, an alien frontier better known as the Midnight Zone. Down here, roughly 3,000 feet below the crashing waves, the concept of day and night ceases to exist. It is a realm of absolute, freezing blackness, a desolate, suspended void that stretches deeper than the Grand Canyon. But the total deprivation of light is only a fraction of this environment's hostility. The true terror of the abyss lies in its crushing, unimaginable physical pressure. For every 33 feet we sink, the immense weight of the ocean above compounds. By the time we reach the hunting grounds of our combatants, the hydrostatic pressure exceeds a staggering 150 times that of the surface. Picture the entire mass of a commercial Boeing 747 aircraft concentrated and balanced perfectly on a single postage stamp. That is the relentless, suffocating force pressing in on every square inch of space. It is an environment so violently extreme that it would effortlessly crumple a military-grade nuclear submarine like an empty aluminum soda can. Down in this pitch-black purgatory, human survival is a physical impossibility. Yet, life does not just cling to existence here. It mutates into monstrous proportions. To endure such an unforgiving arena, nature had to engineer biological armor and sensory systems that defy all terrestrial logic. And as these incredible adaptations were forged in the dark, two terrifying evolutionary miracles were placed on an inevitable collision course. In this silent, pressurized void, conventional sight is entirely useless. The sperm whale, a mammalian apex predator stretching longer than a city transit bus, relies instead on the most powerful biological sonar ever to evolve on Earth. Its massive, box-like head, comprising a full third of its total body length, houses the spermaceti organ, a highly specialized acoustic lens. This biological amplifier fires bursts of clicking sound so intense they can vibrate right through solid matter. These sound waves act as a sonic searchlight, sweeping the endless black water for its ancient nemesis, Architeuthis, ducks, the giant squid. The squid is a terrifying masterpiece of invertebrate engineering, a ghostly phantom of the deep that can grow up to 40 feet in length. It survives this crushing environment by replacing the heavy tissues of its body with an ammonia-rich solution, giving it perfect, weightless buoyancy in the dark. To catch the faintest bioluminescent glimmer of an approaching threat, It possesses the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, each roughly the size of a regulation NBA basketball. But the giant squid is not just built for evasion. It is built to inflict immense damage. Its two longest feeding tentacles can shoot forward like biological torpedoes, armed with hundreds of suction cups, ringed with razor-sharp, serrated chitin teeth, designed to tear into flesh and never let go. At the center of this writhing mass of arms waits a devastating, parrot-like beak, capable of snapping a thick steel cable in half. For millions of years, these two biological marvels have honed their weapons in a relentless evolutionary arms race. But when the whale's acoustic ping finally bounces off the squid's rubbery mantle, the silent abyss erupts into a clash of absolute, devastating chaos. When the leviathans finally collide, it is a spectacle of sheer, unadulterated violence that defies human comprehension. Imagine two runaway freight trains slamming into each other in a pitch-black tunnel, but submerged under thousands of feet of freezing, suffocating water. The sperm whale, carrying the mass of a fully fueled Boeing 737, drives forward with tremendous kinetic energy, its massive jaws snapping with enough force to crush a compact car. But the giant squid does not simply yield to this mammalian bulldozer. In a fraction of a second, the invertebrate retaliates, whipping its 40-foot feeding tentacles around the whale's enormous head. Hundreds of serrated, razor-sharp suckers immediately dig into the whale's thick blubber, tearing deep, circular gouges into the flesh as the squid attempts to anchor itself against the onslaught. It is a terrifying, tactile wrestling match in the absolute dark. A creature the length of 3 yellow school buses thrashing against an alien phantom. The whale rolls and violently spins, churning the deep-sea currents into chaotic vortexes, desperately trying to lock its heavy peg-like teeth onto the squid's soft mantle while actively avoiding the devastating, flesh-rending snap of that steel-shearing beak. For the squid, this is a frantic fight for survival. For the whale, it is the ultimate test of biological engineering and brute power. But as this titanic struggle rages on, pushing both combatants to their absolute physical limits, a dark and fatal vulnerability begins to cast a shadow over the mammalian king. Despite its overwhelming mass and devastating acoustic weaponry, the sperm whale harbors a critical, fatal flaw. It is a mammal. It does not possess gills. To sustain this high-octane underwater warfare, it must hold its breath for up to 90 minutes, enduring a sudden buildup of lactic acid that would paralyze an Olympic sprinter in seconds. Every violent thrash, every chaotic roll rapidly drains its finite internal oxygen reserve. The giant squid, a true cold-blooded native of the abyss, capitalizes on this mammalian vulnerability. In a desperate, thrashing bid for its own life, the invertebrate doesn't just lash out randomly. It wraps its heavily muscled, razor-lined tentacles in a blindingly fast embrace, creeping relentlessly toward the top of the whale's massive head. Its ultimate goal is to seal off the blowhole. If those massive, suction-cupped arms lock tight over the mammal's only airway, the dynamic of the battle instantly flips. It transforms from a predator's hunt into a suffocating, ticking time bomb. The whale, burning through its final ounces of oxygen, must make a split-second, life-or-death decision between securing its meal or surging thousands of feet toward the surface to avoid drowning in the very domain it rules. Sometimes, the mammalian king miscalculates. Oceanographers have documented rare, harrowing evidence of lifeless sperm whales washing ashore inexplicably tangled in the lethal embrace of giant squids.
both titans dying together in a mutual macabre pact of deep-sea destruction. But the most unsettling aspect of this ancient violent war isn't just the blood spilled in the dark, it is how utterly oblivious we are to its silent echoes. Right now, as you sit watching a screen, surrounded by the familiar comforts of modern civilization, the silent, brutal war is raging just miles beneath your feet. While we gaze up at the stars, mapping distant galaxies, and dreaming of alien life on other planets, we remain blissfully ignorant of the alien worlds thriving on our own. The battle between the sperm whale and the giant squid is not a relic of prehistoric times. It is a daily, relentless struggle for survival occurring right now in the pitch-black abyss off our coastlines. Millions of years of evolutionary engineering clash in the freezing dark, totally unobserved, creating shockwaves that never quite reach the sunlit surface where we live our daily lives. We have built towering skyscrapers of solid steel, split the atom, and sent robotic machines to the red surface of Mars. Yet we have mapped less of our own ocean floor than we have the dark side of the moon. This invisible, or ancient war serves as a haunting, beautiful reminder of human insignificance in the face of nature's grand scale. The Earth is still incredibly wild. The ocean depths remain completely untamed. And as long as those scarred leviathans wash up onto our quiet shores, carrying the brutal circular signatures of the abyss, we are forever forced to wonder, in an ocean so unimaginably, vastly deep, and perfectly hidden from human eyes, what other ancient titans wait locked in eternal combat, just waiting to be finally discovered?